Hey, Jill. Jill, are you possessed? Are you?
Hmm.
Did somebody kill Jill? Kill Jill. I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah,
the
we're
the
we're
the
learning
next
we're
Tarantino.
we're learning this is what I call the Bowie. I got two different,
Yeah, uh,
and like, oh, right there.
it's the software. Yeah, look at you. Wow. So people listening on audio have no idea, but so I'll give descriptive text. um, Jill's eyes looked like they were. I'm trying to think of a movie with like bobblehead eye. Oh my god! Oh my! I can't watch that. You're scaring me, Jill. It like
You got to take
they're
a screen
large.
cap of that.
Yeah, they are large. Oh my god! Taking the screen cap. Um, it's not my best screen cap, but oh my god. Okay,
Yeah,
Jill.
for some reason, it's making my what I think are gorgeous blue eyes, beautiful, stunning blue eyes,
They're
and it's
too
turning
beautiful.
them. They're they are too beautiful for this software that we're using. People, this this platform has no earthly idea what to do with my beauty, and so occasionally, depending on how I move, like I'm getting these like weird, um, totally solid black pupils,
Hmm.
and it looks like I'm soulless,
Yes.
which honestly
You know,
I am.
I know Jill
And
pretty well. I would not be surprised if she's soulless. I'm kidding.
I know I have no soul.
Yeah.
And I think this application that we're using is picking up on that. And
Hmm.
the jig is
It's
up.
it's verite. This is the truth, people. This is the real Jill, the real Jill. So we are in the midst of spooky season, which is your scary
Ooh,
eyes are apropos. I mean, that's this is what
that's
we
my
should. I
ooh.
have jealousy because I don't have scary eyes. Do I?
No,
Or okay,
no,
sorry.
no.
I mean,
It's
I
oh,
had to
oh,
like
oh.
pull.
Every time I move, it's like we get a little.
uh,
We're just finally able to give people what they want.
They
This is
want
what they
zany eyes
want.
Jill. So yeah, we might have to clip this out and just this might be the zany the zany Jill episode. So okay, you are freaking my shit. um so we decided we wanted to do a special episode about spooky season. And Jill, I think you're not
Hmm.
entirely 100% a spooky season. You want to give your
Yeah, so I love Halloween and I love the season and I've always loved Halloween. And then I think a lot of people know I've got a daughter and she just turned 14 on October 4th. And so ever since, we had her, this time of year is always really special for us. And because she was born so close to Halloween, she kind of is like October's her month, right? And Halloween is her favorite time of year. And so we do really love it. Just kind of the whole fall vibe. Although in Atlanta, it's still like in the 80s and,
right,
we're not
right.
really getting any reprieve from it. But in terms of movies, I am not much of a like I guess I can say 100% I'm not a horror fan,
Right.
but there are caveats to that. So I do love a lot of the classic monster horror. I think that stuff is really cool. Psychological horror, especially like
Mhm.
classic psychological horror. So, you know, the haunting, the innocence. I mean, I like Night of the Living Dead, the original.
Yeah.
I love thrillers.
Mhm.
Psycho, I think, is fantastic. Where I kind of go "Ugh," is when we start getting into like slasher
Yeah.
movies, I'm
Gore.
not, yeah, a lot of gore. Like you're not gonna like I can't get in line with like, when they're sewing mouths onto assholes and shit. Like I don't know what movie is that, Saw or
Yeah,
Human
yeah.
Centipede or something. I can't get into that stuff. But I do not necessarily those, but I do appreciate that horror actually explores a lot of themes that are important to especially like vulnerable communities. So a lot of
Mhm.
queer people, trans people, um, black people,
Oh, yeah.
they,
Speaking of Night of the Living Dead, yeah, that's
right.
very
And,
much
or like
there.
Candyman, like
Mhm.
a lot of these movies use horror as a way to
Yes.
explore like really, really serious um, issues. And so I can respect the genre for that. But and I've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the original, and I've seen The Omen,
Mhm.
and I like John Carpenter, although I've never seen Halloween, and I don't know if I can go there because it's a little too stabby for
Yeah,
my tastes.
that's pretty stabby, yeah.
But and when I was a kid and go to a slumber party, Nightmare on Elm Street would be on or whatever. So I've seen a fair share of like classic
Mhm.
horror, but it's just not, it makes me really uncomfortable, and not in kind of a like, ooh, shame on you. It's more of
Right,
like it
right.
just really causes me a great deal of anxiety.
Yeah,
Um
that's reasonable. I well,
so I
okay,
just I just don't find a lot of, it's not pleasant for me, I guess. So I leave that for everyone else.
makes total sense. So, people have read the subject of this, this episode, so they know we are gonna look at Variety's 100 greatest horror films, and, many of the titles that you just mentioned will appear. And
Mhm.
and sometimes there's a borderline what's horror, sometimes that's a tired argument actually, but
Right.
that's gonna come up. Like, does it really matter what genre? Some films that we've actually covered before on our CineJourneys are multiple genres, and they'll
Mhm.
appear on this list. Uh, so yeah, let's get right to it. I will say that
Yeah.
I am not as squeamish,
Mhm.
and it's not a competition, but yeah, I watched Ishi the Killer yesterday by Takeshi Mikey. I'm not sure. It's Miike. So I'll figure that out before we get present audition next week. But it's one of the goriest movies you could
Yeah.
ever see. It's so gory that it's like Looney Tunes, cartoonish, pretty
Yeah.
much. So and I have no problem with that. I can detach.
Yeah.
um,
And I
what
can
we're
get into gore if we're talking about like like samurai, or
Mhm.
like exploitation film, like 70s exploitation films and stuff, where it's just kind of like
Yeah.
ridiculous, spectacle, kind of, you stab a guy and then it's like, you know,
So,
that's
yes.
fine. It's just like when we get into like, you know, poking out eyeballs and like pulling
Mhm.
pulling fingernails out with, like stuff like that. Like
So
I
trigger
can't.
warning with, you will not we would not like Isha the Killer because it has all of the above, what you can tolerate and what you can't. So and that's like in like 10 minutes of film, and then it keeps on going. So with
Yeah.
that said, let's get to the list because it's 100
And
films
I
and we
have
won't.
not seen this list. So
You have not, right.
I am going in totally cold
I
into
skimmed
this.
it. I skimmed it. So so yes, there is a nice Grammarly ad. So yeah, this is a podcast that I think it'll be fine on audio, but it's really made for video because we're sharing this article here. So this is a list that came out yesterday as we record. We're recording on the 10th. I probably won't come out on the 10th. So if you're like, they took a while, that happens. um, but just like any of these lists, or I shouldn't say any, but most lists are great fodder to shit on. And I'm not saying that this is a bad list,
Right.
but I did check social media, film cinephile social media, and I did see some stones thrown. I'll share that I did mention that we were going to podcast this. I mentioned this to a mutual friend of ours who is a horror fan, and that mutual friend said that he looked at the first two, number 100 and number 99, and he dismissed the whole list. So I don't want to divulge his. I don't think he'd be proud of that, but
Yeah, and with any list, I mean, I will
yes,
tell you sometimes, and there's some really cool people that are on this that we
that's yeah.
respect. And but look, these are lists that are subjective. They are not necessarily comprehensive. These are editorialized.
Hmm.
But I will say is that some lists out there, are deserve the flack that they get, because
Yeah.
sometimes they are extremely myopic. You will get lists that are not diverse because the people who contributing to them are not diverse.
Hmm.
And so I remember seeing, it wasn't that long ago, that like Rolling Stone put together a list of like, great guitarists or great singers or
Right,
something.
right, right.
And it's
They didn't have
like,
Prince or something.
yeah, it was like Prince was like below, like, I can't even remember, like somebody just stupid,
Hmm.
and so it's
Like nothing
sometimes,
against like Angus Young or somebody. Nothing against
yeah, it would be
AC/DC, but yeah, I wouldn't.
absolutely, but
Yeah.
all of these, so sometimes the lists are like, they deserve the criticism because they don't have, there's
Hmm.
not a good um diverse group that's contributing to it. But but again, grain of salt. And I think
Yeah.
really what these lists are designed to is to get people to watch the movies.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know what? I just from the creative side, I mean, like film people love making lists. I have a
Yeah.
list. You have a list. I mean, maybe not everybody, but for the most part, lists are fun. But we talk often about how film is subjective and that everybody's list is not going to be the same, so they're imperfect. Just kind of the format, though, like you're rarely anytime a list comes out, and we saw it especially with Sight and Sound, people are going to take shots because that list is not their list, and oh, how dare you
Right.
leave off this film.
Right.
So I just want to preface everything by pointing out that these are great people behind this. I know most of them, if we haven't interacted, I know them by reputation. So Sidant makes some great visual essays. Uh, Amy, I know Thomas, I've seen Courtney actually, and Owen
Courtney.
Gleiberman, of
Mhm.
course. Yeah. So, yeah, Peter DeBruge, seen him. So yeah, it's a really good group, and in fact, we are actually on CineJourneys. Just a digression. We're onboarding guides right now, and we have somebody that writes for another publication who has been part of lists like these that have been shit on. um,
Yeah.
and this person has contributed great films and has written little blurbs for them. So we will, by nature, that's just the
Yeah.
a flaw of the medium. We will take the piss out of this a little bit, but I have glanced over it. I skimmed it last night, and I think I think it's not bad. I think it's fine, but of course, it's not
And
my
because
list.
I'm not fully 100% in this genre, I know
Right.
that this list may be geared towards someone like me. So the
I think it
diehard
is.
horror
I think it
people,
is. Yeah.
they may be like, all right, this is whatever. But I would ask all of those people who are really into the genre to maybe think about, oh, who would this possibly be appealing to?
Yes.
And it might appeal to someone like me that is maybe interested in aspects but a little squeamish.
Yes, and by the way, there'll be a lot of scrolling because there are 100 films, and
Right.
I I do recommend reading some of it. We will not
Right.
have time to read all the blurbs for 100 films. I mean, I don't think you'd want that, honestly.
No.
Uh, but I do see, so 100 is Repulsion by Polanski, which is a different story. We're not going to go there, but
Right.
Repulsion is before all that stuff and is a star-making performance, I think, for Deneuve. I think it's
Mhm.
a fantastic one of the most claustrophobic films. And then 99 is Argento's Suspiria. So that comment about the person that saw the two and dismissed
Right.
it, I completely get it because, and it's not because they don't belong, it's because they're too low. So
Right.
yeah, 99 is Suspiria, and I'll tell you what, Jill. We're just going on this ride or this journey together.
Yeah.
So let's just chime in when we have something to say. So
Sure.
and we'll just scroll down. So yeah, this is going to be a better video episode. For audio, we'll put the video link in the show notes.
Devil's Backbone.
So
Okay.
98 is Devil's Backbone, GDT. So I actually like this movie. It's a good mixture of history and spooky ghost story, kind
Mhm.
of reminiscent of The Innocents. The Innocents is basically our ground zero
Yeah.
we reference The Innocents all the time. That's like the perfect one. Have you seen this?
No, but I've got the box set. Oh, there's The Haunting. I brought
The
that one up.
Haunting at
This is
1997. See, and
Man, this is
y-
where you can make a scary movie
yes.
and it's all in the acting. It is
Mhm.
just I love this movie.
I do too, and I would again, we're gonna say too low. And when I was looking through the film last night, I was thinking, oh my word, how is this film this low? How is that film on ahead of that? But then when I got to the top 50, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get it a little bit. But there
Yeah.
are some. We're gonna have some questions. So here's the Invasion of the Body Snatchers from
Okay.
1978 is 96. Number 96. I think that's a good choice. That's a good
Okay.
Philip Kaufman. Um, it's a good addition of, a good I guess it's technically a remake,
It's
but
a
I would
remake,
say
yeah.
it's a great remake, so I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with the placement here. I think that's so Dead Alive, 91. I have seen this, but I just don't remember it. Sam Raimi, or
I've
I'm
not
sorry,
seen that.
Peter Jackson, excuse me, they mentioned Sam Raimi, yeah, I can't really say much about that, so we'll move on. Uh, then Event
Oh shit,
Horizon.
man. Woo.
I am very, very on board with this pick. I'm actually surprised because I remember it being hated at the time. Do you like
Yeah,
this
so
movie?
I saw true story, a group of friends and I went to the movies as we did because back in the day, you could go see a bunch of movies and it was pretty cheap. It was a cheap activity.
Mhm.
And we went and it was the weekend, it was LA Confidential and Event Horizon. And half of the friends went to go see LA Confidential and the other half went to go see Event Horizon. And I was in the Event Horizon group and I almost shit my pants.
So basically,
Like
when you walked out of the your eyes were like they just were.
my
Your
eyes
world just
were
shook, and everybody else
there
was
we
like, "Oh,
go.
that's a
There
cool
we go.
noir." Yeah, yeah. No, I
Um,
remember seeing it too. And the thing is, it's marketed as a science fiction, and then you get out, and it's like, "Oh." In fact, I might revisit this one.
it
I have
is it was
the blue and
terrifying. I mean, it
yeah,
totally was
it is
marketed
scary.
as a like sci-fi
Mhm.
kind of like an alien type and it goes in a direction that is so beyond fucked up.
Yes, I'm actually really glad it's on this list. Paul W.S. Anderson is, not to be confused by the other Paul Thomas Anderson.
Right.
That became a joke. That was a joke in like early film critic 2000s time when I was a film critic. Yeah, PTA and PWSA were very, very different. But this is
Mhm.
uh, I think this is a good film. And I
I mean,
revisited
Sam
once.
Neill is so great in that. Cat
Yes, yes.
People, holy
Um,
mole, I love this movie.
Speaking of Sam Neill, I hope In the Mouth of Madness isn't on here. Hold that thought. We'll see. I don't know. I can't remember.
We'll
Cat
see.
People, yeah, 93. Actually, as we're recording, the Val Lewton set just came out from Criterion. So
Mhm.
this is already out. But yeah, I think there might be another Val Lewton or two on the list coming up. But yeah, Cat People, Curse of the Cat People.
So
I think
good.
that so good, so good. We talked about that when, Imogen was on the show
Ellie
on
loves that
yeah.
movie. Of course, she
Oh,
doesn't
here
get any of the like sex stuff in it, but she loves it. So, oh
what's
yeah,
funny is
I'm never gonna
yeah,
watch this movie.
92 Human Centipede 2. So I have seen the Human Centipede. I didn't, it wasn't "Oh, okay, I wanna see the sequel to that," take from when I saw it. I didn't hate it. I'm again, I can tolerate this stuff.
Listen,
I'm I'm not
I'm not
running.
gonna judge anyone for watching these movies, but this is not my thing.
Yeah, no, it's a joke, I think, and that some of these really graphic horrors, like Issue the
Mhm.
Killer that I mentioned, are really they're almost comedies. Now,
Yeah.
Human Centipede, you just read the premise and it's comedy. So, okay,
Okay,
91, Dead of
this is
Night.
where
Yeah,
we're at.
yeah, this is a
This
great choice.
movie is so, so good. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's very British,
Hmm.
but it's basically a bunch of people end up in a house and they all tell their stories, and it's
It's
in vignettes
yeah,
and
yeah, anthology. Yeah, but it's
anthology. Yeah,
sometimes those can be bad, or it's
yeah.
some of the parts. In fact, I know of one other anthology movie that I'm not sure if you've seen that's going to be on this list. But man, when those are good, they are really, really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what's funny is when I talked to Brad about A Page of Madness, we had the
Uh-huh.
letterbox list up, or letterbox profile, and the top review. Sometimes those just tickle me. I think they tickle everybody, and sometimes they annoy people. The one sentence reviews.
Mhm.
So, but this said to the Joker, this is just a page, which I think is
Mhm.
a pretty good joke. But I haven't seen this, so
That's
I
pretty
really
good. I haven't
can't speak.
either.
I would like to. It has I know it by reputation. So, and we are in J horror, so maybe I'll seek that out. So 58, horror of
Yeah.
Dracula. I think this is a Hammer film, right? Yeah,
Yeah, this one's great.
yeah. A lot of those Hammer horrors are really, really good.
They're
I
great.
I don't think they really get their proper
I don't
due.
think so either. And they're just they mix the gore and the sex so well, and they're
Mhm.
kind of kitschy at the same time.
Very much,
And
yeah,
Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing and I know I'm missing someone. They
yeah.
oh um oh shoot, I can't
Oh,
think of his
here's
name. But
Peter Cushing is in this one. Yeah, he's
yeah,
Van
Peter Cushing.
Helsing. Yeah,
They're so great in these.
yeah.
Frank
So
Langella did some
yes,
too,
yes,
like
yes.
he played like the sexiest Dracula ever, by the way.
Well, yeah, his Dracula. He also played the later Dracula, which is probably not going to be on this list, and should not be. What was that one?
No, I
Uh,
can't remember.
Love at First
But
Bite or so? I don't know.
yeah.
Blood Feast. Okay, so
Ooh,
88 Blood Feast, 63. Oh, this is
okay.
Herschel Gordon Lewis. So Jill, you can probably tell from this cover image. By the way, I will shout out the photos on this list are really, really
Yeah. Whew.
as I'm watching a lady disemboweled, basically. Uh,
Yeah.
Herschel Gordon Lewis is not for you. This is probably in
Yeah.
color. I'm not positive because I have that set, that big cereal box set.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
they're hard to watch though. But here it says
Yeah.
deliriously crude schlockmeister.
Schlockmeister.
That's a
Yeah. All
good.
right.
Does it say who writes the blurbs? No, it doesn't. I don't think.
I don't think so. No.
Well, it's one of the people. So I would think that if we read these blurbs, they're well
Mhm.
written. And by the way, your eyes are still doing the thing.
I know, every
You can see
now
it
and
on the
then,
side.
I don't know what's going on.
It works. Okay, this one I think is too low. So this is the original Vanishing at 87,
Okay,
Spurloose. Um, have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay, so you can't really talk about this without spoiling it. It has
Okay,
one of those. I would put it up there as the best endings of all time.
okay, cool.
Have you seen the Hollywood remake?
No, no, I haven't seen
Okay.
either one.
Well, don't see the Hollywood remake. It's actually not a bad remake, but
Mhm.
you don't want to. But you'd be spoiled of what's at the end of the first movie by
Yeah,
the second movie.
sure.
I say that from experience because I watched the remake in theaters. So yeah, back those were a thing. They still are, but
Yes.
not like they were.
Not no.
There was no Netflix back then. Village of the Damned,
Speaking
1960.
of, there we go. That's what I was
Yep.
talking about. I've got the
Look at those
Village of
eyes.
the Damn Eyes.
Look at those
Yeah.
eyes. Do it. Do it.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm picturing 10, 12-year-old Jill in this group, and I think you'd have to. Yeah, those are wigs for sure. Look at that.
Yeah,
You need a blonde wig, and you'd fit right
I
in.
know.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
this movie's
I'm
so
not in that
freaky.
crowd. It is actually. I'm happy with 86. So yeah. Oh, 85 Reanimator. So yeah, we have a decapitated head here in the cover image. Like I said, I, they give image courtesy of the Everett collection.
Yeah.
So yeah, good going, Everett collection. I'm guessing this is not for you, the
No.
animator. Yeah, it's I do like it. It's another one that was not well received when it first came out. That
Mhm.
now has a huge cult following. So, and then 84 is Dead Ringers.
Dead
So
ringers.
yes, the image here is Jeremy Irons, Jeremy Irons, which is could be the start of a sentence.
It's
What does he
Jeremy.
iron?
These are Jeremy Irons's
There, Jeremy
Irons eye
plural.
Ironses.
There's an apostrophe and is
Well, it would
yeah.
be Ironses. It would be Ironses. So we
So
would have that's a plural irons,
well, we have an irons hugging another irons. So how
right?
ironic. But yeah, no, I'm guessing.
Ironic.
Do you like Cronenberg
Yeah, Cronenberg is
body horror?
weird and it's fine. I've seen several yeah, it's not what I'm gonna run to, but like it doesn't it's kind of like Lynch ish.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah,
enough weird not but I mean what I mean is like it has the mix of kind of like horror elements
yeah.
with just weird. So I can get on board with that.
It's sufficient weird and not too weird. So,
Right.
if this doesn't have Videodrome, if this list, I can't remember, but is that one you've seen? The
I've not seen Videodrome. No.
Okay, so we'll see. That one, I think you could. It's a little more weird. It
Yeah.
might surpass that sufficiently weird that you're talking about. But I'd say it's
This
worthwhile.
is interesting.
83, The Little Shop of Horrors from 1960. This is
I'm I'm
interesting.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it being here though because I think
Hmm.
that this kind of um I mean this is a foundation for so many films. And of
Yeah.
course it's Roger Corman and
Shot in two
um
days. Yes.
yeah, I can get down with this. This is a good I like it. I like it being
Yeah.
here.
Of course, Roger Corman's reputation is probably very well known to our audience, but yeah, he was a great filmmaker that was super cheap. So uh,
Mhm.
had a lot of, and he did not always make good films. And there are a lot of, well, actually 2 days. There's a lot of 4-day productions, 5-day productions. The guy could churn it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this either. Now, in 1962, it probably would not make any list, but
Right. Right.
except for maybe like the Razzies or something, if they existed. Okay, this is interesting. 82,
Yeah.
What Lies Beneath? Has this been? Because I thought this wasn't that good, and has this been reimagined?
I think this one may have just been reevaluated. I feel like this one's been reevaluated lately. I have not seen it since it came out. I don't remember a lot from it other than Harrison Ford looks really great,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So Zemeckis, Pfeiffer as well. So yeah, I also saw this about
I
that
mean,
time,
Robert
and
Zemeckis, I'm just gonna I mean,
yeah, he's. I mean, I don't have any really. I don't have any bad thoughts about Zemeckis,
I
but
think
I
he's a
would say
good
his ups.
filmmaker
Yes,
that
yes,
he went too gimmicky. I don't know, this new movie he's got coming out with Tom Hanks
yeah,
and
yeah,
Robin. Yeah. We'll see. I don't want to judge a book by its or judge a movie by its trailer, but
yeah. And of course,
um,
Back to the Future is a very beloved
right.
trilogy, but you kind of know what you're going to get with Zemeckis, and
Sure.
like I'd say if I were doing a sports analogy, like his upside is up to here, whereas David Lynch is way up here.
Right.
So But, yeah, I'm interested in the way this was reevaluated, and I might check it out. So, okay, well, we are gonna have to go a little faster. So,
Yeah.
81 is the Wolf Man. So this
The
is the
best.
first. Okay, okay. I don't actually disagree, but, we'll have to say that for another time. You're
Yeah.
saying this is the Wolf Man is the best of the Universal monsters?
Oh no, no, no. It's just I just love it. But this is
Oh,
like
okay.
one of Ellie's favorite all-time favorites. I think it's
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah,
but it's not my
so
favorite of the
I
monsters, no.
I did see that our friend Farron did, comment about this yesterday, and, I think her comment was "Poor James Whale" because of this. I don't know who wrote this, so
Yeah.
I can't really, say, but, hey, I love Showboat. It's certainly not gonna be on a list anywhere near a list like this, but yeah, James Whale is, well, he'll come up. So
Mhm.
speaking of Universal monsters, and
Oh,
yeah,
yes, yes,
so House of
yes.
Wax, yeah, um, 53. So this is, yeah, Vincent Price production. Oh, it it name drops Leave Her to Heaven, which is close. I wonder if that's gonna be on the list. Hmm. Laura for certainly would
Hmm.
not be. Um, but yes, he was in Leave Her to Heaven, in a bit part. Why am I forgetting the director? Was it Sam Fuller?
House of Wax?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It would say Sam Fuller if it was.
No. Give me a second, and I can let you know.
Okay. Well, I'll keep scrolling. So bookmark that. So 79, Speak of the Devil. Literally, Speak of the Devil, The Omen,
Oh, Andre de
1976.
Toth.
Oh, okay. So,
De
oh,
Toth.
Toth, yeah. He was a good journeyman director. I like a lot of
Yeah, and
his
Charles
kind of
Bronson's in
B
that,
films.
is in House
Oh,
of
nice,
Wax, which is great.
nice.
We got 76 The Omen. Man, I watched this. Yeah, I've seen it many times, but I watched it when I was pregnant. That was fun.
Oh, I bet. Boy, yeah. There's probably going to be a couple movies I'll tell you to avoid for reasons. Uh, we This did come up when we talked to Erica, author of
Mhm.
Child Kills in Film. Well, I forget the name of the title. I'm sorry, Erica,
Aaron,
but
real quick thing. The picture there is of Damien, like
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
When Ellie was really young, I was
Mhm.
in the living room, and she was up at the top of the steps, and I hear "Have fun on your trip," and she took one of her stuffed animals and dropped it from the top of the stairs, and I was like, "Oh my god, my child's possessed." So yeah,
Well, okay, well, good movie. I agree with it being there. I actually like the sequels too, and I think it was Omen 2 that was in Erica's book. So Angst 83. I actually haven't seen this.
I haven't seen
So
this either.
Australian director Gerald Cargill.
Cargill.
Cargill. I don't know how to. Yep, that's more consonants than I expected. Uh,
Austrian, not Australian. Austrian.
Oh, big difference, yeah. I pulled a throw another shrimp on the Barbie Jim Carrey thing. Sorry, Australia and Austria for that matter. Yeah, okay. I have not seen that, but
It's great when we're having to apologize to like entire nations.
yes, this is premier content right here. So it's compared to Gaspar Noé and Yorgos Lanthimos, so that is interesting. So I
Okay.
like one of those, and
Oh yeah, the blob, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
This had to be there. 77, The Blob,
No,
Camp
that's not
Classic.
77. It's 57.
No,
58.
number 77.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was made in 77. I'd be like, what?
No, no, no. So, yeah, that's the weird thing is it's got the year and the rank. So,
You got a young Steve McQueen, and there's
yes.
Anita Corso, best known as Helen Crump from the Andy Griffith Show,
Mhm.
and yeah,
And you have one of the great theater scenes all time in
yeah,
film.
that's great.
And Steve McQueen, was he born with white hair? So okay. Oh, here we go. I Walked with a Zombie,
Yeah,
1943.
this
Speaking
is
of Val Lewton, and
yeah,
that
like
is in the
masterpiece.
it is in the set too that came out Tuesday. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's I think we'll have a flash sale coming up soon. If not, there'll be a
yeah.
Barnes and Noble
This
sale.
one's so good. It's so ahead of its time. Oh my
Mhm.
god, it's great.
So yeah, that's at seven. So 75 is The Descent from 2005. I'll make sure to say the rank and the year to avoid confusion.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Neil Marshall, Dog Soldiers. He's done a couple other things. You probably haven't seen this. I'm
No,
just
I
guessing.
haven't seen no.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's hard to say if you'd like this one, but I think it's I think it's exceptional actually. So I'm fine with it being where it's at. Um, It's another it's in a cave, so there's that kind of
Mhm.
claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Oh, speak of the devil, number
Yeah.
74, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street, which was from
Yeah.
'84, so,
Yeah.
slumber party memories, right?
Yeah. This whoo that when in the just so people know, people who were not like either alive or were really young in the 1980s, it was not uncommon for uh kids that are way too young to see this shit.
Yes.
And I was it was past it was on VHS. So it was like 1988, 1989 I saw it, but I mean I was like 10 years old. So
Yeah.
um
They did
whew,
not card at the video store. So okay,
uh-uh.
we're already 35 minutes in, so and we're at 73. So 73 is Blood for Dracula, Morrissey. Not Paul Morrissey, not I don't know his actual first name, but not
Whiny
not
bitch ass
not
fascist Morrissey.
the Smiths
Creature
Creature
from the
from the
Black
Black.
Lagoon,
Oh yeah, I know 1954.
1954. This is also a huge hit for my daughter loves. We actually saw where they filmed it in Silver Springs, Florida, back in July, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Number
we talked about that.
71. Oh,
Talked about that in another episode recently.
yeah.
Yeah, so 71
71
Hostel.
is, I'm trying to help you out here. Hostel
Okay.
Part 2 from 2007. You will not catch me watching this at all.
I haven't seen well, I
I'll
have
do
seen
it.
1, I have not seen 2, and 1 was okay.
Kind of suck.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, all right, so this is Joon-ho, The Wailing, 2016. I have not seen this, but I could maybe watch this.
I haven't seen this either, but I like, Bong Joon-ho, and of course, now Oscar winner, not now, but it's been a couple years now, but I'm
Yeah.
very happy about that. Oh, yeah,
Near
okay.
Dark at number 69. Wine Dine 69, baby, 1987. And
Uh,
yeah,
At least they didn't make, like, a sexual, joke, for that one, so that's 1987,
yeah,
and this is another one, Catherine Bigelow, this
yeah,
one has gained a reputation over the years, I like that,
yeah,
that happens
yeah.
with horror, I
Yeah,
think,
it's got a tangerine dream. Okay, listen, number
this one
68 is The
I'm
Sixth
not into this
Sense,
one. 68, yeah.
1999. Now, I will say very quickly that when this movie came out, it was an event. It
You're
was
right.
an event, and people were, it was like, it was a
Mhm.
thing. But it does not hold up.
And
So
in
I
fact,
don't agree with it being here.
if anything, like, some of the films that have gotten new life over time, so, like, What Lies Beneath, Event Horizon, I would say this has probably I would imagine if this list were done 20 years ago, Sixth Sense might have been, like, top 10, I could say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, give it
Uh,
another 10 years, it's not going to be on this list. Oh God, Possession. Jesus.
67. Have you seen Possession?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, speaking of Sam Neill and Isabella Johnny, man,
I know.
this is
Samuel's
like a
so
performance
hot.
of her
He's so
career.
hot. Oh my
That's
God.
not where I was going with that, but, I
No,
was
but I
going in the
mean,
I mean,
this movie,
actually,
Jesus.
I mean, of course, Johnny, you can't dispute her beauty, but I don't think of this as as her more glamorous
Mm-mm,
roles.
mm-mm.
This is an anti-glamour. Actually,
It's
I think
terrifying.
it's a great movie. I think, I credit her for, taking this role, actually. I would think another I was speaking with somebody else about Bridget Bardot recently, and I don't
Mhm,
think she in her career, if whatever the equivalent, I don't think she would take that role. Uh,
mhm.
66 The Babadook, we've talked about this. This
I've
is
not seen it, but I wanna see it. I'm just kinda scared to see it.
I think it's okay, but yeah, not I would say not yet. Wait for your little kiddo to be firmly in high school, then you're okay. Like,
That's next year,
adjusted.
Aaron.
I know. So I'm, like, saying you got, like, a year.
You have a year. We're gonna set a
Set a reminder, tell Jill in a year to watch Babadook. Let's see if my watch that takes that. Uh, okay, it's there. So I will remind you
there
in a
we
year,
go.
Jill. Is
All right.
that's
Appreciate it.
oh, 65. This is Incredible Shrinking Man. Um, what a
Okay,
graphic
sure.
here.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Oh,
No, I do. I do. I don't know if I don't know if I'd think of it as horror, but yeah, sure. You know, why
I
not?
mean, I own a large cat, so
You're like, this is
and
my everyday.
our large
That's
cat was
Aaron
a
right
model
there
for a
in the
T-shirt. That is
picture.
me,
He's
yes,
running.
and
Yeah, that's
in fact,
Levon.
my cat Levon, who is a giant, was just running after me before this call. So yeah, I'm getting a little triggered here, Jill. But this is 65. I'm fine with that. I think this movie's fun,
Yeah.
but I
It's a good, maybe like a good intro into,
yeah.
maybe for kids too, or, you know.
Yeah, yeah. This is a horror that, like, yeah, exactly. This is very, very tame. Uh, I don't know. Maybe a kid could be traumatized by it. All right, this one I'm not on board
Uh,
with, and I like the movie 64, Planet Terror, 2007. I do like it. It's the best
I
part
like
of
it. Yeah.
Grindhouse, but it's not that good. It's not even.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Death Proof. I
really.
think Death
Okay.
Proof.
Huh.
Oh, yeah, I'm team Death Proof all day long.
Okay. Well, hold that thought.
I'm gonna hold the
We
thought.
We recently revisited Pulp Fiction, did a kind of a live event, and that was a lot of fun. I think you were out of town, and of course, so we were talking a lot about Tarantino. I think Tarantino's worst tendencies are his over dialogue. He's a great writer; he writes great dialogue, but sometimes he writes too much of it.
It's a
I
little
think
too indulgent. Yeah.
that's for me. That's death proof, and I have tried it. But anyway, this isn't about. I do like Planet Terror. I do like.
I
Uh,
think it's
uh,
fun.
Yeah, it is fun. She recently passed. Me too. What's her name? It doesn't say it here. That she, her, the actress.
Rose
She had the
McGowan.
Rose McGowan. Thank you. She had the gun in her leg. Yeah, no. This was kind of. She was seen as past her prime. So Tarantino is well. This was Rodriguez, but great at giving second chances, or I shouldn't say second chances, but you know, bringing stars back. Anyway, 63, Jekyll and
So
Hyde. Oh, going way back.
this is my
31.
jam, and I will say I think this is too low because
Yeah.
I think this was the first time that there was prestige, and one of the only times that prestige has been bestowed upon a horror film. And those, so this is, it's not an original. This was a remake, obviously, but this is, I think, by far the best version. Frederick
Hmm.
March, he won an Oscar for this performance. The makeup, I've got a whole piece about this that maybe I can put up on the website, but it's really, really well done. And they did things with the makeup and special effects that had never been done before. So I feel like it should be higher for
Okay.
sure. Gremlins,
Gremlin 62. Yeah.
sure. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. So yeah.
This is another one 30 years ago. This would probably be higher.
Yeah.
Although it's PG-13, as they point out here. So I don't know if, yeah. So your point earlier about Candyman, that's at
Yeah.
61. I love Candyman. I've seen this so many. This is one of the horror movies that I go back to, and I can basically
Mhm.
recite the entire movie. Cabrini Green. So yes, so much race in that. The remake was okay too, but yeah, this Tony Todd. Yeah, here he is. He's just great. Um, yeah, I think this is too low. Actually, I think this is a when I say modern, I'm thinking like not classic Hollywood,
Mhm.
but I'd say
Mhm.
this is a modern masterpiece horror. Right. Okay, Michael Haneke, 60, Funny Games, 1997. I am gonna wager you haven't seen this.
I have not.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm not usually that prescriptive, but I know you, and you would not like this. I'm okay with it at 60. I think it's a good film, and
Mhm.
it's a home invasion film. So, and it was also remade, and the remake was kind of okay. It's funny how
Mhm.
that works sometimes. Okay, 59. Whatever happened to Baby Jane? I know you have thoughts.
Oh, I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. The performances are just so good. The two of them, catty off screen and on.
Mhm.
It is. And this is how it's done. It is so good.
Yeah, well, I love Betty. Is this horror though? I guess a case could be
Oh,
made. Okay.
yeah, it is. I mean, you've got someone who's confined to a wheelchair and is being systematically
Yeah.
tortured by their crazy sister. Yeah, it's horror. But I
I
mean, but I think if you made it now, it would be
Right.
vicious. So I mean,
Yeah,
think
you're
about
you're
when they
right.
made it, you know.
So 58 Raw is 2016. I'm guessing you haven't this is really
I've
New French Extremity
Yeah, I've
or
not seen this one.
maybe even post. I think it gets lumped in with New French Extremity.
Mhm.
So she's eating, it's a cannibal movie. It's basically, yeah,
Alright.
it's even on in that first sentence there, cannibalism. So, yeah, she's what the raw that she's eating. So, yeah, to your point about Baby Jane, if they can make a movie like Raw now, yeah,
Mhm.
you know, I just thought of it. Hey, producers or filmmakers, maybe what's happened to Baby Jane's remake would be okay. Anyway,
Mhm.
maybe not.
It would be crazy.
All right,
Peeping Tom.
57.
Yeah.
Well done, y'all.
I think it's too low. Um, I think
Yes,
it's too low. I'm
we just
glad it's on
covered.
the list though. I mean, it
Me too. Me too.
20 years ago,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes,
I don't think it would be on the list at all.
and even
So,
even a year ago, I really think the
yeah.
Criterion has brought. Now it's been growing also. I
Well,
mean,
it was
for a
on
long.
Criterion, and
Right, right.
wasn't it on Criterion and then it went out
It's
of
DVD.
print?
Yeah,
The
and then
DVD.
now the
So,
4K. Yeah,
I would think maybe, like, 10 years ago, it might have been, but I
yeah.
think it's gotten reevaluated once again. But
Mhm.
I think it should be much higher.
Yeah, I agree, and in fact, when I was thumbing through this, like I said, the lower 50 seemed too low, but, yeah, and I think the 4K just looks so good, and is
Yeah,
I've seen the DVD and the 4K, and it's night and day, like, literally,
yeah.
so, yeah, it's such a great film, and this one, during our classic suspense journey, was
Mhm.
probably the one people gravitate or appreciated the
Yeah,
most, so
yeah. The
56 is The
Fly,
Fly,
yeah,
speaking of
1986,
Cronenberg.
Jeff Goldblum, Cronenberg is great. Yeah, absolutely
Yeah,
should be here.
we've been talking about The Substance a lot. That's a big,
Yeah.
okay, 55 Caligari, I'm sorry, that is way too low. This should be top 10
Yeah,
in my
I
opinion.
think this 100% should be top 10. This is a foundation. I mean, not only is
Yes,
it like foundational to horror, the genre, but it's still today
exactly.
scares the shit out of me. And so it just it this is like this is obscene. It's this
Yeah.
low.
I mean, part of I mean, these are consensus lists, so if somebody forgets one, I don't know if they turned in their top 20, top 50,
Right,
um,
right.
um, I mean, and we'll see what is ahead of it, but yeah, I think this is just, yeah, foundational is the word I would use too, and for 1920, silent films are tough for modern audiences, I get it, but this one is I think works, I saw it in a
Yeah.
theater with a live band, like
Uh-huh.
a indie kinda band, and
Sure.
it was great. That was
Yeah.
one of the best
Yeah,
theatrical
silents
experiences.
are a hard sell, but when it comes to horror, I think a lot of horror
Yes.
fans are a little more, flexible on how, you know, because it doesn't have to
Mhm.
doesn't have to be dialogue for it to be terrifying. Let the right
Yeah.
one in. This is a vampire movie, you know, I'm scared of vampires.
Really? Okay, well, don't watch the
I'm terrified.
this is a great movie. Again, there was a remake that was actually pretty good, so that's become a trend here. But, 2008, boy, these pictures have a lot of blood on them, don't they? Uh, enough fake
And
blood
we'll
and
talk
ketchup.
about one day why I'm scared of vampires, but it has to do with the '90s.
Okay. Well, we have 53 okay, Razorhead, is
Yeah,
53. Total,
yeah,
I
sure.
maybe higher, is
Maybe
it
a little
horror is
higher.
a question. Blood and Black Lace, so Mario Bava is
I've not
52.
seen this.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little fast. 51 is
Irreversible.
Irreversible.
Yeah, okay.
Don't watch this. This is
No, no, no.
it's not just uncomfortable, but it's also, really this is when they were doing all those Steadicam movies
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and making you dizzy like Locke. I can't I actually threw up during Locke in the theaters
Yeah, I can't
because
do that.
I think it was Locke. No, it wasn't Locke. It was Keen, I
I
think.
love this. Noah is like Kubrick crossed with Sade for the age of underground verite porn. I love that.
That's a yeah, some of the writing of these, of course, I haven't read the entire thing, but here and there, it's just really some good lines. So here we go.
Onababa,
Number 50,
number
Onababa.
50,
We just
1964.
we
Okay,
just covered that, and pretty much everybody loved that, and we were able to tie that into folk horror
cool.
origins, like,
Yeah.
Japanese the folk tradition. So, yeah, and they mentioned Kuroneko as well, which I'm guessing is not on the list, but and that's fine.
The
49, The
Witch.
Witch. This might be some recency bias. Nothing against The Witch, but 2015, I would not put Caligari below this for sure. I have to give this another chance. Uh, it's tough with the dialogue. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I haven't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. It's a big A24. It's like one of the
Yeah.
biggest. Oh, okay. I know number 48, The Birds.
The Birds, 1963, which I've been told that is not from The Birds.
Yeah. What is that? That is not from The Birds. You're right. Or is it? I'm trying to.
Mm,
I
mm-mm.
just rewatched The
I
Birds
think
recently.
that
I don't
that
remember any
is,
birds like that.
and that's not Tippi Hedren, and that's not Suzanne Plachette, and that is not anyone. So I don't know what that is.
I'm going to reverse image search that afterward
We're gonna
because
find that out.
I'm interested. Yeah.
But I agree
So
it's being there. I would probably put it lower actually.
I would put it
'Cause I think
lower as
there's a,
well. Yeah.
but I think it's a great exercise.
Yeah.
It's just not a wonderful movie.
Poor
Godzilla,
pitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Godzilla 1954, the original, is number 47. I've never really thought of it as a horror movie, but it is. It's a monster movie, and I but I
Oh,
probably would put it higher.
by the way,
Um,
I did Google search that. Speaking of which, J horror. This is like the OG J horror.
right?
It actually
Right.
that image was from The Birds, they say, and it was
Huh.
Jessica Tandy. So
Wait. Go scroll back up. Scroll back up. I need to look at this. That's not Jessica Tandy. I stake my reputation on the fact that that's not Jessica Tandy.
okay, well, all
I'm
right,
going to
yeah.
go down in history to say that is not Jessica Tandy.
I
That may
think
be a
Alamy.
stand-in for Jessica Tandy, but that ain't Jessica Tandy.
Yeah, that does not look. You might be right about that. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and rewatch the movie just
Everyone,
to
I need
see.
you to chime in on that. Let me know what you think.
Okay,
The Thing.
46, The Thing, way too
Listen,
low. Way too low.
this is
This should be
this
top 10.
this should be top 10. This is a fucking masterpiece. Show some
Mhm.
respect for this shit, man. All
Okay,
right.
45, The Invisible Man. I'm okay
I
with
love
this.
it.
30,
I
33.
love it.
I love it too, and I love Claude Rains, but yeah, I'm okay with 45.
I'm okay with the placement on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
44, Manhunter. I do think that's one of the best Lecter movies. I would say maybe even a case
yeah.
could be made for it
Those
being the best, but
those
44 I
nipples are
think
kind
is
of freaking me
too
out.
high. Yeah, yeah, those are some crazy ass nipples. So,
This,
I,
whew.
I so since I saw Isha the Killer, I can't talk about nipples. Just
Yeah,
I'll just I'll just say that in
uh,
my letterbox review, I said don't order pizza with Isha the Killer, so you might.
okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
40
Vampire, way too low.
433's Vampire is a masterpiece. I was actually about to. I have a Region B version. I forget. I think it's
Yeah.
Masters of
Show
Cinema.
some respect for our German
Yes,
expressionist horror. This shit is far too low.
Carl Theodore Dreyer. I mean, it's been 100 years. He still doesn't get his due. I mean, some
No.
Passion of Joan Arc has. I mean, that wouldn't be on this list. Although you can make a case, maybe. 28 Days
Uh,
Later. I like this movie. 42 is way too high, in my opinion.
yeah, it should be like, 97.
Yeah. It definitely should not be below Caligari and Peeping Tom. So those are the
Right.
two really egregious ones, or even
The
Repulsion.
Devils.
The Devils.
Man, I think you got to pump this one up higher.
Yeah,
This
the
one is
Devils.
so fucked up.
Yeah, I kind of question whether it's really horror though. I mean, because it's
I
called The
don't know,
Devils.
man. I
I mean,
don't know.
it's a masterpiece.
It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it's very controversial. It's controversial for physical media as well because
Yeah.
it's not out, and
Well, and that may be why it's low, is that it's hard to see the right versions. Bride of Frankenstein,
number
um,
40.
you know, I think
I
it's okay. I may make it. I would on a personal list. I might make it slightly higher, but I'm fine with that.
I prefer it to, the original Frankenstein. Maybe that's just because the original Frankenstein I've just seen too much, but
Yeah.
I think the world of James Whale, and I'm glad that, we'll see if Frankenstein shows up, but I would probably wherever
If it
Frankenstein
doesn't,
is,
we get pitchforks and we chase
we
them.
will. Okay, so here's the anthology film that I knew was on the list.
Yeah.
Kwaidan, 1964, Kobayashi,
Hmm.
Masaki Kobayashi, one of the all-time greats. This is I'm again, we've argued probably for 20 movies that should be on the top 10. I would likely say this should be higher, but I'm actually going to say 39 is pretty high for this
Yeah.
because I wouldn't expect people to place it that high. But it's also a anthology film. It's four stories and it's
Hmm.
3 hours. But this is really one of my favorite horror films. Maybe I'll make a list. What do you think?
I think you should.
Okay, Freaks 38.
Yeah.
One of yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with
I
that.
mean, I've never viewed it as a horror film because I think
Yeah,
because I'm not scared of these people. And
yeah, it's a circus film.
but I honestly think it should be higher just because of its influence.
Mhm.
But it's a masterpiece and I think every single one of those characters is so endearing. Um
Reminds me, we were planning to, dust off the Browning set and do a pod about
yeah.
that, and guess what never happened?
No, but
So,
we should.
yeah, we could.
Um
37 Deep Red, so this is where you gotta include, the big this isn't I think this is technically not giallo, but
okay.
it's influenced by it or it's Argento. I'm guessing you haven't seen it, right?
No, and this is not really my cup of tea.
Yeah. But David Hemmings,
Yeah.
blow up guy.
Oh yeah.
So this 36 Hereditary, one thing I will say is I'm pretty sure Midsummer is not on the list, which I think is a pretty egregious omission if you include this. Hereditary from 2018, which I think is a really good movie from Ari Aster, but 36 seems a little high on and again, I would especially if there's no Midsummer. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing you probably
I've
shouldn't
not
see
seen
this.
this one.
Yeah,
No.
this is one of those mall. A mom. I'm not gonna make a reminder for a year from now to tell you to see it. I don't think you'd ever like it.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have the original Invasion of the
Yeah. Which I feel like
Body Snatchers.
it
Yes,
should have been here for sure. And
30
so I'm
number
glad to
35.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Although
think
I
that
would swap this out with some others that were lower on the list for sure. But I'm glad it's here.
definitely, and I think this is a good placement of the remake and the 70s remake and the 50s original. So that's
Yeah.
I'm fine with this too. Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. It's probably not your thing. I
I've
think it's
seen
fine.
it. It's
Same.
fine,
Now,
I
is
mean,
I guess Emma's technically
it
a horror.
is. I mean,
Yeah, and
yeah, he's like killing kids. So yeah. Night of the
30
Hunter, I think should be
32,
higher.
Night of the Hunter.
100%.
Yeah, if you're gonna put it in the horror
Top
slot, I would.
20.
I would. Yeah.
Top 20 for sure.
Man. Yeah. Charles Lawton's only still he's 1 for 1,
He's
100%.
one. Yep.
Got the best batting average. Ringu at 98. The actual
At
the
number 31 from 98. Yeah.
from 98. Yeah, number yes, Ringu was not 1931. Uh yeah, we're doing J horror now, so
Mhm.
Ringu is a big. We don't have that as part of the program, but we are going to talk about American remakes because
Yeah.
there's been so many, and this is where one I think the remake would belong on the list. There's actually a 4K that's coming out next week
Okay.
of the remake. So, but the original definitely. I'm fine with this. Eyes
I
Without a
was about to say
Face, Georges
absolutely.
Franju. Yes, 1960.
Absolutely.
Trigger warning: if you watch the documentary on the Criterion disc, it is bloody, but thankfully it's black and white. A
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera, 1925. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
fine with this
I
at number
agree with that.
29.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great film. The masked ball sequence is so good.
Okay, 28 is The Wicker Man. I am totally fine. I think this is actually just about right. I love it. You've
Yep.
seen The Wicker Man, right?
I've actually not. No.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of Christopher Lee,
Yeah.
so Yeah, here there he is. Yeah, I think I would not be. I think this would be right up your alley.
Okay.
I think this is one I would recommend to you. So the original Dracula from
Okay.
1931, is it
I
number
think it's
27?
boring is all get out. I think Bela Lugosi's fantastic. It's just I think it's
Yeah.
boring as hell.
I would
It's
say that
sorry.
if you want a Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi vehicle, the Black Cat is where I'd go,
Yeah,
and
I think that's the
I don't think
better.
that's on the list because I don't think they would be this high, but we'll see.
Mm-mm.
Um, okay, here we go.
Okay.
The Innocents would be top 5 for me, or,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe on a given
I'd
day,
have it
could be
top
number
10.
1.
It scares the absolute piss out of me. So,
It's
um,
amazing. Yeah, Jack Clayton, so yeah, right. Okay, 25 is Scream from 1996. I get that it was super influential and kind of brought back the slasher movie. Way too high though. Way too high. What do you think?
I don't like it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm like the one person of my age group that doesn't like that movie. Blair
And then
Witch, I don't
24. Yeah.
I can't get by. It was, I know it was big, but then, we find out what these actors were screwed, and I
Hmm.
cannot, I don't want to ever watch it again, but I cannot engage in anything related to it because those actors have not seen a dime. And
Yeah, that's sad.
I feel really guilty because there was just recently an article and they were interviewed and they've been screwed 100%. And I can't
That's too bad.
engage in
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I'll try to remove that. I just think as a film, it's super important for like found footage films,
Sure.
which are a
Absolutely.
big deal. I don't think it's number 20. I don't think it's anywhere close to The Innocents. But I think it's okay. I do remember. So speaking of films that were massive at the time and had a lot of hype,
I mean,
I,
this
I
was a
remember
whole thing.
it was a thing. I remember going to a screening, seeing the people leaving the screening and asking, "Was that real?" And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, you idiots!" I
No, but
was thinking that,
this would be the
but a lot of
closest I
people
think
thought,
to like a William Castle where they probably
"Yeah,
had to have
yeah."
like nurses on staff. I mean, people were losing their shit.
Oh my word! If William Castle was involved with that, they would have ambulances at the movie theater. Dawn of the Dead, 1978. Romero, I'm fine. Yeah, deserves to be there.
Carnival of
Carnival of
Souls, hell
Souls,
yeah, baby.
1962. Yeah. Herc, got to give one for Herc. Um,
Herc Harvey.
uh, my friends, Fred and Brad were in in Utah, and they actually were at that location. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool.
Black Sunday from 1960, another Bava. It's a big film. 21 seems highish to me, but I don't know. I probably, if we had our druthers, we would put all classic Hollywood, and
Yeah.
and so maybe we're not the best. Number 20 is Get Out from 2017 by Jordan
Um,
Peele. I'm okay with this.
I liked it a lot. I probably would have it somewhere in the 30s,
Yeah, yeah.
but I think it's fantastic. And
It would be on my list for sure, a top 50 list for sure, and I'm fine with
yeah,
it at 20. I think there's also some recency bias there too.
yeah,
And also, it was a big deal, and a big deal. We have to acknowledge the race issue. I mean, it really
right.
just nailed the race issue on its head, and just the place of African Americans in horror films.
Yeah,
The cliche has been the black person dies first, and I think
that's
that
right.
cliche is realistic. So yeah, uh, I think Jordan Peele made a masterpiece there.
Yeah.
The Mummy, 1932. So we're getting a lot of Universal.
And that is not from the 1932 Mummy at all.
I thought there was no fact checking, Jill.
No,
That is not a political statement. That's just a joke.
no, that is 100% not from the 1932. Which
The
is my
Shining.
favorite Universal, by the way, is the
Oh,
Mummy.
really? Okay. Yeah, yeah, I can
Because
see that. The Mummy's great. The
the
Shining at 18.
Shining, woo, yeah,
That scene. This is Danny with his little, what do they call those? Big
big
wheel, big
wheel,
wheel. Yeah,
tricycle, yeah,
big wheel. So yeah, just imagine you're riding around in your big wheel, and all of a sudden these
in a
Probably
gigantic abandoned hotel that's snowed
yes,
in for
and
6 months.
I'm sure these twins are very nice people and grew up to be very well-adjusted, kind, nice careers, maybe families, I don't know, but boy, they were scary as okay. I'm okay with The Shining there. For me, it would be higher. I love The Shining.
Yeah.
So 17
Oh,
is Diabolique,
Diabolique.
1955. This is actually when
Yeah.
I said there's one that's multi-genres. I mean, what genre do you put this in? I guess
Psychological thriller.
yeah, but I'm okay with stretching it. Some of the diehards
I
might
mean, I
not
think
agree.
that that is horror. I mean, I
I
think
agree.
that
I
that
agree.
is a psychological horror is, just like a gangster movie gets into film noir. I mean, it's a subgenre within horror, and I think it absolutely belongs here.
Okay, Jill, your eyes. I placed it. It is Paul Maurice's character in the tub. So do it again.
Let's see if I can hang on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Well, have to. Okay, his eyes were a little
there it is.
bigger, a little bigger. Okay, that's pretty close. So
Yeah.
yeah, you could actually. Well, okay, I was going to say something that would spoil everything about that film, so I'm just going to shut up. Halloween. So we already talked about this. It's a huge film. 16. I like Halloween. I think
I
it's a
can
good movie.
appreciate its existence. It's just I never want to watch it.
Number 15 is Don't Look Now from Nicholas Roeg, 1973. Have you seen this?
Mhm.
You have seen this. Okay.
Mhm.
I was going to suggest don't again,
Yeah.
and you probably know
It's
why.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. Do you like it though? I mean,
I mean, it's great. It's just I don't know if I'm going to be revisiting it,
no, don't.
anytime
I
soon.
definitely wouldn't. Okay, 14 is
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu from 1922. Another one I would put in
Check
the
that babe out. Hot.
I know. Yes, really sexy
Count
lab. But
Orlok, man. Hello.
yeah, yeah, they could. They should. I love silent films sometimes.
I
I love
hear he's
German
hung like a
expressionism.
fucking horse, you know?
All right, I am moving on from that, but yeah, this
Whew.
is a legendary picture. Um,
Hey, baby.
yeah. So okay, here we have another number 13. So we're getting close to the end of the list here, which is good. We've
Mhm.
been at a little more than an hour. So Silence of the Lambs, 1991. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
Especially with Manhunter lower, I'm
Wait, when
fine
did
with
this
that.
come out? In 91?
Hmm.
Yeah, I went to a birthday party and we watched it. I think
Okay.
I was 12.
Oh wow! At a birthday party at 12. Wow. King
Yeah.
Kong 1933. I do like King Kong. I think it's overrated a little
Yeah,
bit.
I mean,
I don't like
it's a
that word,
monster
but yeah.
movie. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I
I
think it should be
understand
lower.
it. Yeah, it
It's
should be
it's
lower. I understand it being here, but I do agree it should be lower. Alien, 100%.
so I guess we're not gonna see Aliens, so that's interesting because I often think of that as the better, maybe the argument is that's more sci-fi and this is more horror.
Yeah.
I think they're both, but I don't know. Um, so Alien is so
When are we
we're in
gonna
the
get
top
Alien
10.
versus Predator?
Yeah, we're not gonna get Alien versus Predator. That I guarantee. So number 10 is Carrie, from
I'm okay with this.
1976. Very okay. Yeah, I think this is
Mhm.
just fun. So number 9, Sallow or the 120 Days of Sodom. Well, this is actually a big spoiler, but you know what? A lot of terrible stuff happens in this film. Hey, Jill, don't watch this. Don't dare. We have we're about to start a year-long Pier Paolo Pasolini journey where at the very end, of course, we're going chronologically, we will watch Sallow. So the thing is, the Sallow jokes are already starting, and our guide, our primary guide, it's a community journey kind of, but Kent has never seen Sallow, so it's like, oh my word, you have no idea the jokes. So that's I'm just gonna we're gonna be eating some popcorn and not eating anything else, just the popcorn. You have not seen Sallow, right?
No, I have
Yeah,
0 desire. That
yeah.
no.
I
Frankenstein,
yeah.
uh,
For 1931, yeah, I'm okay with it. It wouldn't be my yeah, I think it's too high.
I would have it top 10 for me for sure, but I would
Okay.
have had Jekyll and Hyde top 10,
Yeah, no, of
like
course, yeah.
100% for me. Um,
So then, okay, number 7, Audition. So this is again on our Japanese horror. This is the one. So this is the same director, Takeshi Miike. I think it is Miike. I'm not positive. Please fact check me if there is fact checking. This is one that you should not see, but
mhm.
you would not like. But I don't know. When you read the description, it does sound like subject wise, you might be
Right,
interested.
right.
Um,
But I know that in its in in action, it's yeah.
What I'll say is that this image right here is a spoiler, and if I explained any more, would be too much.
Mhm.
But the thing is, this is the scene that everybody remembers, and everybody is traumatized in auditions. So that'll be interesting when we have the journey call. I don't think that's one you're going to participate in, but we'll see.
It is not.
Number 6, Night of the Living Dead.
Dead.
1968. I think a case could be made for this being number 1, but
Yeah,
we'll see. Number 5, Rosemary's Baby. So we had Repulsion. So
okay.
two Polanskis. Yeah,
Yeah,
68. I'm okay with
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I know
I
we
might
said
have it a
we
smidge lower,
yeah,
but it still would be in the top, 20 for me.
yeah, like Peeping Tom, Caligari, The Innocents, like all it would be lower than all of those for me.
Yeah,
But
same
again,
here.
subjective. I'm qualifying that with for me. So I
Yeah.
know that a lot of people love this. I love this movie. It's great. Okay,
Hmm.
number 4, Jaws. Mayor Vaughn approves. We love Jaws. Number 4, I think no. I'm not. I think like 50 is where I'd put it.
Yeah, I have no problem with it being on the list because again, it is a horror film.
Totally, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I might have it like just for like the to respect its role, I might have
Hmm.
it like 35 or
Yeah,
something. But
and I can
not
tell
this
like
high.
it's the legacy is
Yeah.
the influence, the impact. I mean, like bureaucratically as a horror because don't close the beaches. Don't close the beaches. So it's a bureaucratic horror. It's bad. It's corruption at work. Number 3 is Psycho. A case
Yeah.
could be made for number 1, I think, but
Yeah. Again,
I
no, this is in play. It should be here. It's one of the first slasher films, I think. I
mhm,
think it should be here, but again, I think Peeping Tom should be right with it.
exactly. And I don't know who wrote this, so I don't know who is claiming it's Hitchcock's greatest film. That's probably
Mm,
not.
it's his
That's not too
it's
far fetched.
his
It's
most commercially successful film, but
yes.
I don't think it's his greatest film.
In the perception of this individual, whoever wrote this, it is his greatest film. I would say it is a great film. But I've also seen I've overstudied this. I've talked about this on other episodes, how it was on 3 consecutive syllabi, which
Mhm.
is in film studies, which guys, program other movies. Academics, please.
Mhm.
We've seen Psycho enough,
Yeah.
but it is great, and the shower scene stands alone. Number 2 is The Exorcist,
Yeah.
1973.
Yeah.
I I'm okay with this. Personally would have it lower, a little lower, but,
Yeah.
it's up there.
What's this number
Hurri
1 gonna be?
Hurricane Billy. All right.
Mm.
Number 1. Should we drum roll? Do you want a drum roll, Jill? Pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And
Texas Chainsaw
um,
Massacre for people who aren't
yeah,
watching, listening.
that's probably where it should be, you know?
Yeah, no, this is probably not a you film, but I
Oh,
think
I've seen it.
okay, okay. Yeah,
I've
me
seen it.
too. I have that Second Sight Deluxe edition, which has like 80
Yeah.
commentaries and so many
I will
features.
never watch it again, but I have
Yeah.
seen it, and,
Yeah, I'll watch it again. Uh, I think this is a okay number 1. It wouldn't be mine, wouldn't, but I'm not mad at that. So,
I honestly think that Planet Terror should have been not on this list, and I
yeah.
think that, Death Proof should have been in its place. I think Death Proof is
Hmm.
by far the better film
Okay.
from the Grindhouse double feature, just because it's kind of takes the bad guy going after women and they turn, I mean, spoiler alert, they band together and turn against him. It's Tarantino's most feminist film, which is saying
Mhm.
something for him because a lot of his shit is like, oh, sort of feminist. And but Death Proof is, and they fucking bash the shit out of Kurt Russell's head with their fucking boots.
Spoiler.
So, spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
it's interesting that that's your takeaway. I think it's a fine list. I'm not like I said, I'm not mad at it. I think any consensus list has problems, so
Yeah.
I'll just leave
But
it
I
there.
thought when I
Let's
saw Planet Terror, I thought for sure that
Death
Death
Proof.
Proof was going to be further down.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, it's not here. Once we got to the 20s and it wasn't there, I was like, I think they
Mhm.
picked the wrong from that double feature.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure that there have been lots of tweets or social media posts on various
yeah.
platforms about what they missed. Like I said,
Listen,
Midsummer
people
is
people that are reading this list, don't fucking get stupid and start like
yeah.
threatening people. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
if
not
you
that. There's so many
disagree
more.
with this stuff, don't be an asshole. Just
Yeah,
like make your own list and call it a
exactly.
day. You
Exactly.
know,
And
like,
again, I think the final thoughts. I think yeah, make your own list. Don't be an asshole, and also just respect the people for putting
yeah,
their passion, time, and love.
because
I
there's
knew
no wrong
right,
list. I
right.
mean, I we disagree with some of
Hmm.
the placement on here, but that's fine if it's part of the if it gets people to watch these movies and we can
Exactly. Yeah.
disagree and have a conversation about it, like that's great. That's what the point of it is. So
Mhm.
it's not
Yeah.
like, you know, carved into stone. Um, you know.
All right. Well, that was fun, and so
Yeah.
we'll put this out, and hey, maybe we'll clip something out. I don't know. We'll see. But all right, that is CineJourneys. Look at the variety 100. So.